Hello everybody, my name's Alan and you're watching Guns, Gear, and Outdoors Alaska. Today we're going to be taking a look at this brand new Ruger LCP MAX. I just got this thing in, brand new, never been shot. We're going to put some rounds through it today. I'm going to tell you what you think. I'm a big fan of pocket pistols overall. Everywhere I go right now, I carry around a regular old Ruger LCP, the standard model. And I think they're great, not necessarily as a primary defensive tool, but just as something you can carry around really conveniently. You can have it on you all the time. It's just having a gun on you all the time is important, and I think the pocket pistols really enable that. And then if you want to layer on top of a good pocket pistol with a more capable gun, I think that's the way to go. But the thing that attracted me to the LCP MAX was the capacity. Unlike the regular LCP that's a 6+1, this is a 10+1, and it has a lot better sights. It's got a front tritium night sight and a blacked out large U-notch rear, which I really like the looks of. But that's enough for me talking for now. We'll get into the features of the gun in a bit. But first off, let's see how well these sights are regulated from the factory. Got a target out there at about 10 yards, and I'm just going to shoot a 10-round group on there and see where it's hitting. These are the first shots out of the gun. All right, let's go take a look. And one more note, this does lock open on an empty magazine, unlike the regular LCP. But let's go check that out. Yeah, we can see here, we're grouping a couple inches low just at 10 yards in general. And it's not a great group. That's definitely me. I'm getting used to the trigger on the gun, and I'll explain the trigger in a little bit. But yeah, I'd actually rather see that be high or dead on than low. I was using a dead on hold. That's not great. And these sights they are dovetailed in there, so they would be theoretically adjustable for windage, but not for elevation. So this is just something I'm gonna have to keep in mind and practice more with the gun. So let's step back and do some more shooting. The Ruger LCP MAX also can take these 12-round magazines that are available separately from Ruger's website. But I'm not really happy with that group down there. This next time, I'm just gonna slow down, concentrate on my trigger control, and see if that was me jerking low when I was shooting, or if the sights are shooting low. One thing I want to mention too, the button to let the slide go, it's really stiff. I'm pushing on it right now. Might just need a little bit of wearing in, but I'm just gonna run it with the slide. All right, let's shoot the other group, see what we get. Let's slow down, concentrate. Yeah, really slowing down and focusing on the trigger press. Looks like it did bring our group up a little bit. I think I might be jerking it down while I'm shooting. And let me show you this trigger, because it's not one of these things I like about this gun. Okay, we got the pistol here, and we're clear. And this is a hammer-fired gun, but the trigger feels a lot more like a striker-fired trigger. You can see that you have this little bit of take up here, and you hit a hard wall. That's a very hard and heavy wall. I'm putting a little more pressure on it, and then the let off is creepy and mushy, and it breaks. If we get a look at the reset there, Let it out. Does have a very positive reset, unlike the regular LCP, which has kind of a false reset. But this is I would have to say this is a pretty bad trigger. It feels a lot like a factory stock Glock trigger, but maybe 10 or 15% worse in every way. So, not trying to make excuses for my poor groups, but just be aware this example of this gun that I have right here has a pretty bad trigger. But let's get back to shooting. So most of the ammo we're shooting out here today is full metal jackets, but I do have a magazine of hollow points here. Let's see if they cycle. Ooh. We got our first malfunction here. Give it a second. Light strike. Failure to fire. And this is SIG Elite Performance hollow points. That's not good. I'm gonna put this one back in on top. See if it'll shoot. Oh wow. I flinched like a big dog there, but that same round. Give it a minute. Yeah, another primer strike. Wonder if this is a dud primer or something. I'm gonna hang on to this. We got a few more of these. Let's see if it'll finish them. Yeah, I don't know if that was the gun or the ammo, but it fed them all, the hollow points. I have that round we tried to fire earlier, that SIG hollow point that didn't shoot. It's got 2 dents in the firing pin from the LCP MAX, and I'm gonna try to shoot it through my standard LCP. This gun's been very reliable for me, so if this doesn't shoot it, I'm gonna go ahead and call it an ammunition problem. Let's see if it works. Oh, click, nothing. I'm gonna say that's a dud round. Surprising. That Sig Sauer Elite Performance stuff isn't cheap. So let's get back to the LCP MAX. Alright, so we've fired about 150 rounds today, which is a lot less than I'd like to for a full reliability test on this guy, but 380 ammo is pretty expensive right now. But yeah, 150 rounds, no problems. We determined that that one that failed to fire was a dud round, not the gun's fault. But yeah, let's take a step back and get a closer look at the features of this gun. Alright. Here it is. When you get this gun from the factory, It comes with just one. Show you we're clear here. It comes with one 10-round magazine. You can see it's double stacked with kind of a long single stack column. That style that's become really popular with the smaller 9mm too, like the P365 and the Hellcat. The Ruger went ahead and kind of used that same magazine style in this gun to give you a 10+1 pocket size 380, which is pretty cool. And it comes with a little loading tool also, and a nice thing they included was this pocket holster. One thing they didn't include was an extra magazine. I had to supply that myself, which I think they probably should have included that, because I think that's the way to carry this thing, is with the smaller magazine in the gun for a smaller footprint, and then one of these as an extra, because that's the setup I use with my current 380 there. Got my LCP. I carry a 7-round magazine as a spare, and this 6 plus the one in the gun. So upgrading to this gun would go from 14 rounds total to what's the math on that one? 11 plus 12, 23. Am I good at math? Maybe. So I thought it'd be easier to explain the ergonomics of this pistol by comparing it to this one. And I know the LCP MAX borrows more features from the LCP2 than the original LCP, but this is what I got and this is what it'll be replacing. So I'm going to use this as a basis of comparison. Size-wise, the length is about identical. The LCP MAX is a little bit taller and a little bit thicker, but it does have nice grip texture, and that thicker grip does make it a little more comfortable to hold, but it does still start to sting your hands like any of these really small light 380s once you shoot more than 100 or so rounds. At least that's what it did for me. It's still a little bit snappy, but yeah, pretty pleasant to shoot for a pocket gun. I don't mind it at all, but I think the best upgrade is the magazine capacity. Both magazines worked reliably for us today with the limited number of rounds we were able to shoot, and the sights. I'll give you the lighting is kind of crazy out here today, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but we got a nice big white front dot with the green tritium vial inside and a blacked out rear sight. You can see this rear sight is sloped, so it doesn't snag. I didn't really have any problems with it snagging when I was drawing from the pocket holster, just in my little bit of practice today. But yeah, it feels better in the hand. The original LCP has more of a double action revolver style trigger pull, which is okay. It's just personal preference. This has that striker fired style trigger, even though it's a hammer fired gun. But I think the trigger on this gun is pretty atrocious. And when you pick it up and you feel it in your hand and you look down the sights, you feel like you're gonna be shooting a full-size gun. Like it should be easy to shoot, but it still shoots like a pocket gun. That meaning that it's not the easiest gun to get hits with. So I guess the big question here is it worth it upgrading to the LCP MAX? Am I happy with my purchase? And I'd say, yeah, I think so. I was a little disappointed at first when I shot that first group and it was low. My groups were pretty large. This thing doesn't solve all the world's problems. It's still, anytime you shrink a gun down to this size, there's going to be compromises that need to be made. But I think having more capacity and having the better sights is worth it. So I think this is going to be my new pocket gun. I'm going to start carrying this instead of the regular LCP. And yeah, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, this does have a lot better slide serrations. It's a lot easier to cock. The original LCP, got it right here, doesn't have much for serrations, and there's not much place to get good purchase on there. There's another one in favor of the LCP MAX. But yeah, still shoots like a pocket pistol, but you get more rounds and better sights, and I think it's worth it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out our Patreon. And thanks everybody. Have a good one.